So good to see everybody.
Yes.
Say what you said when you met people on Rosh Hashanah.
Oh, I had this thought, which was very interesting. On Rosh Hashanah, to one of the services, a woman came and she came over to me and she's like, Basi, it's so good to see you. I haven't seen you in so long. It's so good to see you. And I was like, yes, it's amazing to see you. But I was thinking to myself that this is a woman who's joined many of our Zooms over the last 6 months. And to me, it really felt like I just saw her a few days before at a Zoom. It didn't feel like it's been 6 months. And I think that's one thing that we've really been so blessed with during this time is to really feel, at least Rabbi and I feel so close to all of you, even though it's over a computer and over through a screen. It feels as if we just saw you in person. And that's truly how I felt when I saw this woman on Rosh Hashanah. I was like, no, I just saw you. What are you talking about? And then I realized, it was on a Zoom. It wasn't live. But it really is special. We do feel very connected to all of you. Every time we see you on a Zoom, each of you comes and adds your special energy, your spirit. It really does come through the screen. So I just wanted to share that and how I felt. It was just like an interesting feeling I had. And I thought, I wonder if other people are feeling this too. Is it just me or are you also feeling this?
Yep, exactly. So this is a special time as we are getting ready for Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the year. And actually, I learned something very interesting this week, and that is that according to Kabbalah and according to the mystical part of Judaism, right now is considered like a holiday period. So even though it's not Rosh Hashanah and it's not Yom Kippur, it's actually, we're like in between. It's like the intermediate days of Sukkot or of Passover. And so each of these days is really a holy day. And today is particularly a special day, and especially in light of the upcoming holiday of Yom Kippur and the Yizkor that we do on Yom Kippur. Today is actually a yahrzeit that is very special and should be special to all of us. We have been blessed with, every generation, God makes sure to send us some great Jewish leaders to like the Moses of each generation to make sure that we have some leadership. And in this way, we are not alone. And so for our generation has been the Rebbe, whose picture is always graces behind us. And today is the Rebbe's mother's yahrzeit. And so the Rebbe had no children physically. We are all his spiritual children. And therefore, it is like our spiritual grandmother, in a sense, that her yahrzeit is today. And I just wanted to start off by acknowledging that and acknowledging the Yizkor, that some of us will not be able to be in synagogue for Yizkor. And Yizkor is not a sad moment. It's not supposed to be sad. It's supposed to be a time of quiet happiness and reflection. And that's because we realize that through us and what we are doing, we are actually interacting with them. It is a beautiful relationship that we have with the souls of those who have passed on. And by the actions that we do here, we give them tremendous amount of peace, pleasure, and happiness. We actually had this morning on Basi's Amazing Torah and Tea, we had Barbara Rosenthal, who just lost her mother. And it was fascinating to hear her say that her mother she just passed away just in the last week.
A week ago. Yeah.
About a week ago. And it was, her mother really kind of didn't really, oops, somebody come on and unmute themselves. Help. How did they get on? Unmute themselves. Okay. So and she was saying how she was hoping that her mother, when she would reach the world of truth, that she would recognize and value a lot of the things that Barbara valued. And she says that she got a message from her mother already, and her mother was communicating with her, and she feels that her mother does appreciate that. And so when the soul is separated from the body and no longer has the filter of the body, it's able to see things the way they really truly are and see them for what they really are. And so for those souls to look down upon us and to see that we're connecting with our Judaism, we're connecting to our Yom Kippur, then the soul is thrilled and so happy. And that's the idea of Yizkor that we do on Yom Kippur. And so while obviously under ideal circumstances, the best way of doing the Yizkor is through being in the synagogue together with everybody else, but we've placed way too much emphasis on the synagogue and not enough emphasis on our own personal connection that we have with God and the value that it has. And this pandemic, I think the greatest valuable lesson that we can learn from this pandemic is how much God values each and every one of us by ourselves, wherever we may be. When God created the world, he did not create the world with a whole crowd of people in a synagogue. That's not the way God created the world. When he created the world, he created one humanoid. He didn't even create two. He created one humanoid, which was made up of a male and a female, called Adam. That's it. That's all there was. There wasn't a big group. There wasn't a Torah scroll. There wasn't a minyan. There wasn't a chazan. There was nobody there. And when were they created? On Rosh Hashanah. That's what we celebrate. That is the anniversary of what we celebrate on Rosh Hashanah, is the anniversary of the creation of Adam and Eve. And so this is a very, very special Yom Kippur. And it should be a lesson for all of us to realize, a lot of times people call me and they say, Rabbi, could you pray for me? Could you pray for my family? Could you pray for this one and that one? And I'm like, you should pray too. I'm happy to pray with you, but not in place of you. I don't have a more special connection to God than you do. As a matter of fact, you have the greatest connection between you and God. That's, so you definitely should do the prayer. And so I think that's one of the big lessons, the big takeaways from here. And so I'd like to share with you a story that happened to Basi's grandfather. Now, Basi's grandfather, Reb Nissen Nemenov, was a very, very holy Jew, very holy. And he was an extraordinary human being on so many levels, but he was so dedicated to his Judaism that he valued his connection with God and Judaism more than he valued his own life. And together with his wife, Masha Rivka, and their children, they basically stood up against the communists, against the Stalinists, and risked their lives to keep Judaism going in the former Soviet Union. And he knew that that his chances of being arrested and being put into the Gulag were very high. And so what he did was he committed to memory the entire Machzor of Rosh Hashanah and the entire Machzor of Yom Kippur. And you know how long that is and how difficult it is. He committed it all to memory, amazingly. And sure enough, one year, for a few years actually, he was sent to Siberia. He was sent to some Gulag, or I don't know where it was. And they let him out right before Rosh Hashanah, or around Rosh Hashanah time. And he was on a train. In Russia, there were like 9 or 10 or 12 time zones. I don't know. It's a huge place. And so to get from one end to the other end took more than a week. And so it was the day before Yom Kippur, and he's stuck on this train. And so he gets off at whatever station it was. And there was no Jews in the town. He checked the whole town. There was no synagogue. There was no nothing. And they didn't know where to be. And by law, you weren't allowed to stay out on the streets. They would arrest you and throw you into jail for just loitering. So what he realized was that if you went in and ordered a drink at the pub, at the local bar, then you could stay. You could stay as long as you want. And it was open 24 hours. So can you imagine a holy Jew like Basi's grandfather? He goes into the bar, and they had no kosher food, but the beer was kosher. He had nothing to get his fast starting. So he did was he bought two big jugs of beer, And he sat down and he drank the first one. That was going to be his way of getting the fast going, to make sure he had some food before the fast began. And then he stood in a corner and started to pray. And he stayed in that corner, and then the people obviously in the bar were like, what's this Jew over here? And he's praying. So they started to pull on his coat, but he didn't acknowledge them at all, until finally one guy screamed at them and said, can't you see the holy man? Leave him alone. And they actually protected him. And he stayed like that for 25 hours. That was his Yom Kippur. And when he finished the Yom Kippur, he drank the other cup of beer, and then he got on the train and made his way back to his family. That's extraordinary power on so many levels. But the lesson is that your Yom Kippur is your Yom Kippur. No one can take it away, and no one can make it less. And so obviously it would be nicer, more fun, more enjoyable if we could be with other people and so on. But being wherever we are, that's the most beautiful place you can have your Yom Kippur. And in some ways, we've had some people who told us after Rosh Hashanah that this was their most beautiful Rosh Hashanah. They took their time, they said the prayers, they said they connected, they read, they reflected. Really, really beautiful. And so we're going to get ready to go to the actual program itself. But before we do that, I would like to take this moment to thank a few people. And sure.
Okay. Yeah. So let's see. We want to thank Safi Inbar and Sharon in memory of Yehudit Holtzman, Yecheskel Holtzman, Shmuel Berenstain, and Minarina Berenstain. We want to thank Ben Milshaker and Marsha in memory of Abraham and Celia Milshaker.
Yes, we knew them very well in Heritage Point.
Very special people. We want to thank Paula Kowarski, Bechke, and Stuart so much in memory of Roberta Kowarski. Thank you so much. We want to thank Carl and Julie, Carl Taswell and Julie Neidick in memory of my mother, Elaine Siegler Taswell.
They're both doctors.
Yes.
Dr. Carl and Dr. Julie.
And I think Kobe's on too tonight.
Oh, hi Kobe.
We want to thank
Greg
and Rosalind Gantman
Gershon
in memory of Rosalind's sister, Yvonne Greenberg. We want to thank Evan Fewsmith. We want to thank Azita Lines in honor, and David Lines, in honor of our Rabbi Marcus and the glory of Yom Kippur, plus what I can offer, and Vasi, plus what can I offer to match Ellie's divine, powerful, and blissful voice who touches our heart and soul to its core and uplifting it to the highest peak. So thank you, Ellie. We want to thank Mark and Monique Simmerant in memory of Simon and Lucia Simmerant and Lucia and Roz Plush.
Lucia's,
Ruth Tolman in memory of Albi Amato. Hope I'm reading that right. We want to thank Jeff Dukowski. We want to thank Hillary Hyman in memory of her wonderful husband who had a big heart, Jerry. We want to thank Jerry Rogan and Jody Shassel in memory of Dorothy Kipnis. And we want to thank Ron Florino. Thank you so much. If anything came in late right before, thank you, but it's not on this list. One more thing before we go right into our program is if you haven't received this yet, if you didn't order a Rosh Hashanah home kit, we printed more of these. This is a special 50-page beautiful booklet with so many beautiful, meaningful conversations and articles and prayers. It has the Yizkor in here. It has a lot of great stuff. So if you don't have it yet and you want one, just let us know. You could text me or Rabbi or Sandy. You can come in tomorrow. We'll be here most of the day, and you can just come pick one up because we'd love you to have it for Yom Kippur.
And with that, we're going to begin. We want to thank my brother Eli and my uncle Rabbi Manis, who worked very hard to put together a beautiful program for us. And instead of Eli being live, he decided to record it with music in the background, with all sorts of props and other things like that. So let's take a look.
I'm sure you noticed that Yom Kippur comes after Rosh Hashanah, which needs to be explained because Rosh Hashanah is the beginning of the year. Shouldn't we start the year off right? So we coronate God as our king on Rosh Hashanah, and then 10 days later, we try to clean up all the mistakes we made in the past year, in the previous year. Shouldn't we do that first and then start the new year clean? The Alter Rebbe tells us something amazing, amazingly true. In Igeres HaTshuva, the Rebbe says that real regret or real tshuva is not that you regret what you did, but you regret who you did it to. And there are two virtues to that. Number one, it's more believable. You did the sin once, why wouldn't you do it again? If you got caught the first time you did it, you don't want to get caught again. But it's not that you don't want to do the sin again. You want to do it for the same reason you did it the first time. So what changed? That's the crucial question. What really changed? Why are you a different person now than you were before? But if your regret is who you did it to, that's more believable. Of course you would like to sin again, but not hurting the people you hurt the first time. The first time you did it because you weren't thinking of the people or the person whom you're sinning against. But now that you've thought about that person, you wouldn't do that to that person again? Like with your own mother, you would hurt your own mother? Or your best friends, your only friend? You wouldn't do it to them again. Or to God. And sometimes just to yourself. Why did you do that to yourself? I know why you did that. It's understandable. Every sin is tempting. But why would you do that to you? To yourself? So that's where the true regret is. And therefore, first we have to have Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah means I know who my king is. I coronate him. A king is not a dictator. The famous expression, Ein melech b'lo am. You can't be a king without subjects. So a king depends on his people to make him king. That's why the need for coronation. The people have to accept the kingship, appoint the king, promise loyalty to the king. And that's the theme of Rosh Hashanah. Ein lanu melech ela ota. We have no other king other than you. It's a monogamous relationship. One king, not two. Once we get it down as to who our king is and who provides for us and who makes the world go round, now say, what you regret, because now you know who you sinned against, and you can honestly say, wouldn't do that to him again.
Ay la ra ya ra ya ra yo yo. Oh ya la ra ya ra oh yo yo. Ya ra yo ma ya ya. Oh ya ra ma ya la ra ya ra. Oh ya ra ma la ra ya la ya ra. Da 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 yo yo. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us on this journey through the songs and stories of the High Holidays. You know, our High Holiday service didn't always look like this. Back in the times of the Holy Temple, the Kohanim and Leviim, and of course the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, performed the service throughout Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. But after the exile, 70 years in Babylon, the Jews came back to the Holy Land of Israel, and they had forgotten the art of prayer. Of course, our ancestors were masters at the art of prayer. So came along Ezra and the men of the Great Assembly, and they established what is now known today as the Siddur. As time went on, prayers were added through the many poets, as they're called in Hebrew, Paitanim. The most famous is Rabbi Elazar HaKalir, whose identity is unknown, but the Arizal testifies to his holiness and to the fact that all of his prayers were written with a true and holy intention. Now, of course, music and singing has been a part of our history since the beginning of time. Of course, the singing of the Leviim, of the Levites in the Holy Temple. But music has a holiness, especially when it comes to prayer and the songs that we sing. And of course, prayer, as the Talmud tells us, is a service of the heart, where we pour out our hearts to God. And what better way to do that than through song that really brings out the voice of the soul. Rachamono deyonei lani oyevei aneino. Rachamono deyonei lani oyevei aneino. Rachamono ideyonei nisvirei libo. Oh yaneino, oh yaneino. Rachamono ideyonei nisvirei libo. Oh, Yaneino, oh, Yaneino, Rachamono, deyonei lani, oyevei aneino. Rachamono, deyonei lani, oyevei aneino. Rachamono deyonei nisvirei libo. Oh yaneino, oh yaneino. Rachamono deyonei nisvirei libo. Oh yaneino, oh yaneino. Moving through the prayers, we now reach Avinu Malkeinu, one of the central prayers of the high holidays throughout Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Now the Talmud tells us that once in the land of Israel there was no rain. Rabbi Eliezer stood up and prayed 24 prayers, and he was not answered. But Rabbi Akiva stood up and he said, Avinu Malkeinu, Ein lanu melech ela ata. Our Father, our King, we have no one but you. And the heavens opened up and the rain began to pour. So the rabbis adopted this prayer for the high holidays. And what better way to talk to our Father in heaven, first referring to him as our Father, then as our King, and beseeching him to bless us with a happy and sweet new year. The first melody that we're going to sing today was composed by the Alter Rebbe, Rabbi Shneir Zalman of Liadi, the founder of the Chabad movement, who was a prolific composer. And the second one, although its exact origin is unknown, it comes from Eastern Europe and has been sung for hundreds of years. So I'm sure we're all wondering, what did the songs, what did the music sound like in the Holy Temple? The Levites with all of their singing, playing their musical instruments. So our tradition tells us that after the destruction of the Second Temple, when the Jewish people were sent into exile, the families of the Levites decided to stop the tradition, not to pass on the melodies, so that it shouldn't fall into the wrong hands and be used for the wrong purposes. However, the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe tells us that in the times of the Maharal, 16th century scholar and Kabbalist, famous for creating the Golem, the situation for the Jews was terrible. And he asked that it should be revealed to him from heaven some special melodies that would help elicit God's mercies and bring peace and tranquility for the Jewish people. And the songs that were revealed to him are known as the Skarbava Nigunim. Skarbava means the holy songs. And we use these today for the melodies of the high holidays, for different prayers. Yodaiti adino ki tzedek mishpotecho viveyemuno inisoni ageshivo li ayaya vaneini Orid besichi veyoimo venafshi etogil ay 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 badoino tovosis bishuosoy anoisei teshuo Apoitzes David Davidoi Mecherevero Yerai laram Ayayam Oh yerai Oh yelarai Yisegada We now come to the Unesana Tokef prayer, one of the most powerful prayers of the high holidays. The story is told about Rav Amnon of Mainz, Germany, who was always being pestered by the local archbishop to convert to Christianity. He finally said to him, "Give me 3 days and I'll have an answer for you." But as soon as he left the presence of the archbishop, he thought to himself, how can I even waver for a moment about giving up my faith? On the 3rd day, Rav Amnon failed to appear. So the archbishop sent his guards to bring him in by force. And when he arrived, he said, "Your punishment for failing to appear will be to have your legs and hands cut off. The legs that should have brought you here." With his last remaining strength, Rav Amnon requested to be brought into the synagogue, where it was the day of Rosh Hashanah. And he recited this prayer of Unesana Tokef, declaring God's awesomeness. He concluded the prayer and returned his soul to heaven. My dear friends, the Unesana Tokef prayer. Unesana Tokef, Dusha Sayoi, Ki hu neraviyoi, Uvoi sinase malchusecho, Vikoin vechesed kisecho, וסי שבו לו בימי אמס יעדו דיינו מחיח בידי יבואי וחויסי בספר ומוינה וסיזכוי לכל אני ישכוחויס וסיפתח ספר הזיכרוי נויס ומייל לו ביקורי וחויסו יד כל אדם בוי ובשויפר גדול נתוקע וכל דמו דקו שומע ומלאכים יחפה יזור ובחילו דעדו יחפה יזור ויאמרו הנה יוי מדי לפקוד על צבא מורים בדי כי לא יזכו וינכו בדי וכל בוי אוי לו יאמרו לפניך כי בניהם אורוי ושא שובו ושא פילו וצדוקו מעביר נסרויה הגזירו
When we address God as our king, what we're referring to is the fact that a king oversees the successful running of a country. He provides the food, he provides the security, he provides the infrastructure. So when we say God is going to be our king for another year, which by the way, he would be king no matter what we do or say, so why the need for the coronation and for the blowing of the shofar? It's because although God will be our king for another year without a doubt, the question is, will he enjoy being our king? We'll get all the benefits. He will run the world, things will happen, the world will not disappear. But will he enjoy it, or is he doing it kind of begrudgingly? So if we coronate him enthusiastically, it gives him a little pleasure in doing this menial job of being king. If we don't, then he has to do it anyway, but the pleasure is not as great. So every year when we coronate God on Rosh Hashanah, we add a little pleasure for him to be our king yet another year. And so we describe in the davening, in the text, how on Rosh Hashanah, God will make a plan. He will decide who will live and who will die, who will prosper and who will not, who will be at rest and who will be exiled. All the details. And then we conclude by saying our behavior, our tshuva, our mitzvahs, our prayers can enhance that role or that job for him. Now, surprisingly, at least today it is surprising, when it comes to that particular section where we describe how God is deciding what the next year is going to contain, people get very emotional and they start to cry. Primarily because death is mentioned. God is going to decide who will live and who will die. Oh, that's scary. People get very emotional and very serious. That is not the theme of Rosh Hashanah. And there really is no reason for the seriousness or the morbid mood, because we have no doubt that we're not going to die. We're not paranoid. Maybe in the olden days, dying was a very real possibility at any age, at any time. We don't have that reality. We don't live in that kind of a world. Of course, we're going to have a year of life because God is deciding who will live. And that year of life, we want to make better use of than we did with the last year. That's the thought. That's the concern. God will give us a year of life. What will we give him? How will we use the year? So when we read that part of the text, we really should be comforted. What it's saying is there is a plan. Today on Rosh Hashanah, God decides everything that's going to happen to every individual like a shepherd checking out his flock. So what have we got to worry about? Nothing will go wrong. No accidents will happen. No one will be hurt for no reason, meaninglessly. And people will succeed because they're meant to. That's very comforting, very reassuring. What are we crying about? The theme of Rosh Hashanah is how many people know that God runs the world and how many people don't? How many people are grateful to God for the world and how many people are not? Who is aware that God is our creator and God is our maker? That's what we're concerned about. That when we make a king, when we coronate God as our king, everyone should know who the king is. So the real prayer is that we should know deeply and we should get the whole world to know who their creator is. So I saw this little sign in a Boy Scout camp, actually. It said, "Wisdom is seeing a beautiful sunset and knowing who to thank." That's Rosh Hashanah. Focus on who is running the world. Who are you trusting? What are you relying on for the coming year? And are you reciprocating? If you have a great year, who do you owe? Who are you grateful to? Your lucky stars, whatever that means. So it's not about survival. We're not pleading for our lives. Our lives are not on the line. What we're doing is bringing a greater awareness and appreciation for who the king is in ourselves and in whoever else we can influence, so that Yeda kol pa'ol ke'ato pa'alte. Every creation should know its creator. V'yavin kol yitzur ke'ata yitzarte. And every form that was given should know where that form comes from. Even something as simple as the need to eat. Why? We take it for granted, we never question. Why does a human being need to eat in order to live? Well, that's nature. Who designed that? What is the purpose in that? Wouldn't it be better if we didn't need to eat? Our survival chances would be greater if it's a fight to survive. There's a purpose, there's a reason. Getting to know God is getting to know ourselves, getting to know the world, and knowing where we fit and whom we're serving. That's Rosh Hashanah.
We now come to the Yom Kippur prayers, beginning, of course, with the Kol Nidre, with its beautiful, haunting melody. This prayer first appears in the Siddur of Rav Amram Gaon, who lived in the 9th century. But this prayer took on new significance during the time of the Spanish Inquisition, when Jews were forced to live a double life, accepting a new faith. But this became their yearly renunciation of their adopted faith and proclaiming their true belief in God. The story is told that one year in the shul of the Baal Shem Tov, the founder of the Hasidic movement, just as they were about to begin the Kol Nidre prayer, a young farmer boy arrived. Illiterate and not knowing how to pray, the only thing he could do was make the animal sounds. And from the back of the shul, he began to cry out, "Kukariku! Kukariku!" This is what I can say to God and ask him for a sweet new year. The members of the shul quickly began to shush him and hush. But the Baal Shem Tov turned around and he said, "I want you all to know that his heartfelt prayer, his pure sound, is breaking through all the boundaries and going straight up to heaven. And through him, we will be blessed with a sweet new year." So let's join together as we sing the Kol Nidre prayer. Kol Nidrei Vesorei Ushevuei Vacharomei Vekoinomei Vekienusei Udishtabanu Udiachar Yemenu Udiasarenu Alenafshasono Miyoim Kippurim Yom Kippurim, Aboleinu letoyevo v'chuleho Yicharabno v'yo Ayayam Uleho Yehoy Neshoro Shevi Yikin Shevi Yisi Beteilin Umevutolin Lo shiririm velo kayomi niderono lo nidre vesorono lo esore in la ron ay We have now reached a section of prayer which has many Chabad melodies. The prayer of Yale is an old Chabad melody. The prayer of Darkecha, which is a melody which was taught by the Rebbe. And the prayer of Kihine Kachomer, a melody which was composed by the Chassid Aaron Charitonov. Very beautiful melodies which have become well known throughout the world and really bring out the emotion and the feeling of such a holy day. Join together as we sing through these prayers.
Chanuneinu meyere Yovo Shavoseinu mi boike Veyeroe Rinu neinu Ore Yale Koileinu meyere Miyovo Tikoseinu mi boike Vieroe Vidyoineinu Adore Uyaleinu Yeinu Meyere Viovo Islichoseinu Mi Boike Vieroe Nakoseinu Yale Minuseinu meyere Beyovu Lemanoi Boike Vieroe Chipureinu Adore Darkecho Noikeinu Veharichapecho Loroim Velatoim Vehiseino Secho Darkecho Eloikeinu Veharichapecho Loroim Velatoim Vehiseino Secho Ilemanecho Eloikeinu Aseh Velo Yelonu Rei Amidoseinu Alim Bereikim Darkecho Eloikeinu Veharichapecho Loroim Velatoim Vehiseino Secho Hinei Kachoyeme Yadayoitei Birtzoy Marchi Ubirtzoy Mekatzei Keinanachnu Beyodcho Chesed Oitzeir Laberis Amen Yal Teife Layetze Bikine Goeven Yada Mechaye Ume Moises Labris Habe Bial Teifen Ayetze
Kianu Amecha, one of our favorite prayers throughout the Yom Kippur service, has two melodies, both which were taught by the Lubavitcher Rebbe. One describes the Baal Tshuva, the penitent soul, and the second one describing the tzaddik, who has a much smoother road. And we can hear in the melodies how both of these feelings are expressed.
Kionu Amecha Kriyato Elokeinu Yonu Vonecho Kriyato Vienu Ayirayo Yiram Ayiram Ayirayiro Yiro Yiradaya Ilaro Mama, mama, moira, ayera, mama, oira, maira, ira, yero, yera, ilaro, yera, mama, moira, kiyonu,
We've now reached the end of the Yom Kippur prayers. And just before that special moment where we blow the shofar, we sing a song of victory. Chabad custom is to sing a song known as Napoleon's March, a song expressing our trust that God has forgiven us and has blessed us with a beautiful, sweet new year. לשנה הבאה בירושלים.
Wow. Ellie, thank you so much. That was fantastic. That was really very special. And is Ellie on? Let me see if we got Ellie live over here. Ellie, are you on? I want to have Ellie come on live and talk to us about this amazing production that he put together. Hopefully we'll come on in just a moment. But that was the highlights of all of the amazing prayers, songs, the stories behind them, and a lot of the insights into Yom Kippur. And obviously it's not the same than when we're all sitting together, but at least we got to get a taste, a little bit of a taste of that Yom Kippur spirit. And as you can see in the flavor of the melodies, especially the Chabad melodies, that we have all different tones that are there. We go all the way back to the times of the temple that touch our soul and our spirits, reminding us of our connection to our way, way past. We have that end Napoleon's March, which is that March of Victory, that we're going to a great, wonderful, beautiful, great place. And we have the sadness of reflection of our past. And we also have the happiness and the joy of the connection that we have with God, the beautiful connection that we have. And still trying to see if Ali made it on. Hopefully he was coming on. Where is he? I have to have him live here. This is a very special time for us to be able to bring lots of new blessings into our life. This is the heavens are open, our hearts are open, our connection to God is like never before, and it's really, really an incredible time. And that we're all together here on the Zoom. I was looking while the video was playing. I was looking at everybody and could see some of the beautiful dancing that was going on, but especially in Jeff's house. I don't know if anybody got to see that, but especially in Jeff's house, the dancing that was going on in there. I wish we had a video of just that going on. It was Lindsay with your granddaughter. What's your granddaughter's name?
Evelyn.
Evelyn. Oh, she was absolutely adorable, the two of them. And then the hug and the kiss at the end over there, that was just, delicious and sweet. And so that was really great. And to see people getting into it, you know, there were obviously different flavors and different times. And it was great. It was great to see that Julio was on, and he was actually enjoying it as well. So that was great. Julio, did you enjoy it? That's the bird I'm asking about. Yes, the Holtzman, your bird. Yes, exactly. How did he enjoy it? Did the bird enjoy it? I want to know. We need to know what did the bird say.
Lupe and
These
Pepe.
two are not there for the singing. Our other bird was here for the singing,
Yes, the other
and he
bird,
enjoyed it very
he
much.
was wonderful.
Oh, good.
And these two are very, very happy. They have,
So we can really say this was for the birds.
yes, Lupe and Pepe.
Oh, beautiful. Excellent. Excellent. So we're going to do, as we wait for Ellie to come on in just a moment, we're going to let people, we're going to unmute so we can talk to each other here for a few minutes before we say goodbye. But it's so good to see people and to connect this in this, best way possible. And it's just a joy to see your faces. That's all I can say. And I want to thank all those who put their cameras on so we could see you, like the Milchikers and the Gerbers and the Sandbergs, and to see Sandy. Okay, we have to give a big shout out to Sandy. Okay, people, if you guys, here's Sandy, and we're going to unmute you, Sandy. How do I unmute you? How do I unmute you? I think I did something here. Okay, let me cancel that. Let me find you over here. Where are you? Thank you all for being so patient with me here with this technology over here. Where is Sandy? Let me get you back here, Sandy. 1 second. Don't go away. There you are. Unmute. And there she is.
Here I am.
Okay, we want to give a big shout out to Sandy because nothing that goes on here at Chabad would be remotely possible without Maura Sarah, without Sandy. Let's give a big round of applause to Sandy.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
We decide like crazy people that we're going to put on 1,000 programs, but who has to do all the work? We have to put all the work on Sandy. She has to be making sure everybody gets their emails with the links and has to make sure everybody signed up for the right things. This COVID thing has only created more work for everybody. So this is, we want to thank you so much. You are truly have done so much and continue to do so much. Well, thank you. That's all I say.
My pleasure. Oh, my pleasure. Anything I can do. I appreciate it.
We love you, Sandy.
Oh, we love you too.
And who else do we have here? Evan Fewsmith. Hello, Evan. Good to see you.
How'd you enjoy?
Got
Right.
a thumbs up. Excellent. And Albert. Oh, what'd you say, Evan?
No, it was wonderful. It deeply moved my heart. And I did need the primer. And it actually, on an emotional level, put me ready. So if it's okay with everybody, can we start Yom Kippur tonight? Or do we have to?
That's why we love you. You got the best ideas, Evan. You love the backyard there. What a nice place. Actually.
Yes.
Yes. And hello to Ed and Letty.
Hi. Good to see you.
Great to see you. Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you. Was excellent. We really
Oh,
enjoyed.
good.
Oh, excellent.
I'm sitting. If not, I will be dancing.
Right.
wouldn't be dancing.
No. Excellent. I see we have Chaim Shalom and Simcha here. We've got the Schusters here. And who else do we have here? Oh, we got Selma Rosen. I think, Selma, you win. You're the youngest person on tonight. Selma, you are the youngest person on. I thought Henya was the youngest, but it turns out Selma is the youngest person on tonight.
Am I unmuted?
Yes, you are.
I just want to thank you. I won't be able to go to synagogue. My kids won't let me go near people. But I just can't tell you what a spiritual feeling I got. It was just absolutely beyond. That's all I can say. And I can't thank you people enough.
Aw.
You're doing such a mitzvah for the world this way.
I agree.
Wow.
We're so glad.
Love you.
And do what we do, and having people like you on and being connected to people like you make it all worth it.
And to Natalie.
It was good to see you, Natalie, 2 nights in a row. What are we doing tomorrow night? Coming over for Shabbat?
virtual visit. And the Kaufmans. Hello, Michael and Yelena.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
The wonderful
So good to see you.
Family.
It was nice to see you at Chauffeur in the Park.
It was nice to see you guys. It was wonderful.
I was thinking during this presentation that God actually blessed us with the coronavirus. So we will have all these programs you put together. But then I realized that it's not because of this, but in spite of this, we're demonstrating our resilience and our eager to adapt to anything. So God bless Marcus family. God bless all of us. God bless Israel. God bless Jewish people.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Beautiful. Hi, Mary. Hi, Rich.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for the beautiful gift basket. I just can't get over that. The honey cake and the rolls, and the booklets were just stunning. And this program was really stirring. Yeah, it really gets you in the mood. The melodies are just, and Ellie is just so wonderful. And thank you so much for all your hard work to make this, even during the COVID, I don't know, really terrific. Just terrific. Thank you.
I'm so glad. You're so welcome. And it's such a treat to see the two of you. And Mary, we're blessing you that you should have much better health. Next Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we should be celebrating with you not being in pain.
Amen.
Amen.
You.
Amen. Amen. Rosalind and Greg, all the way from Seattle, by way of England.
It's actually far, but when we come together like this, it's almost like around the corner, really. And
yes, it feels like we've seen you again and again. It's just so beautiful. It doesn't feel like you're far away at all.
We've seen you more this way than we have normally.
Exactly.
Isn't that true?
Yes, and I just want to say your media company is growing, unbelievably. Well done.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
And Hillary, so good to see you.
Hi, how are you? I want
Thank
to
God.
thank you very much. And it's funny because it's just the music reminds me of growing up, even though I don't understand anything, but it's just the feeling that I get. And so it's just a really beautiful feeling. And when you talk about with the COVID and being not here, and families aren't together, with both my kids now out of the state, one of my grandsons was with me for Rosh Hashanah, and then we Zoomed, my other daughter and the grandkids, and my other daughter in Tacoma, one in Tacoma, and Jennifer and David moved to Texas. I don't know if you
Yeah.
okay.
Wow.
So we were on there and we did the blessings together, but we were on there for maybe 2 or 3 hours, and all we did was just talk, and the kids are all teenagers, so we had so much, and it was the best. And I guess things happen and it comes together, and we're doing Sunday evening also, and we all enjoyed it. It was like we were together, but yet it seemed to work better. I don't know why, but it was beautiful tonight. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome.
We have with us Ina. Ina is a Holocaust survivor, and she is a wonderful person that we are so happy that she's able to join us. Hello, Ina.
Yes, hello.
Yesterday was beautiful evening.
Oh, I'm
I
so
felt-
glad you joined.
Yes, I fell more in love with Judaism yesterday. Totally in love.
Aww.
Tell
You
us
know,
more.
I
Tell us
was-
more. How did you fall in love? What made you fall in
I
love?
just
Not
fell in
everybody
love
knows, Ina.
with
Not everybody
spirituality.
knows what you did yesterday. So tell everybody. Not everybody knows what we had last night.
I show you the challah right now. I make 2 challah, one with apple, one without apple, and it was amazing. And I fallen in love with Judaism, with spirituality, with people that I met. And today was also, I was connecting with my grandfather, who was very religious. He died during the revolution in Russia, and he was very religious person. And I connected somehow, listening to Ellie. I was connecting with I saw my grandfather, how he looked. I don't know him. I was born and I don't know the grandmother was died. My grandmother and grandfather died. And I didn't know them. And today I was seeing him in Ellie somehow. I don't know. That he
Wow. Oh my
was
goodness.
probably singing like Ellie, because he was Russian and not Russian, he was Jewish. He's Isaac, his name is Isaac.
Wow.
And I was connecting with my grandparents that I don't know, and I was born after.
You know, it's so special, Ina. And I bet you they sang the same songs. Your grandfather and your grandmother, they sang the same songs that Ellie sang tonight.
I was thinking that's how probably my grandfather, and when you talk about that train, your father was coming from Syria. I know that train. I was 8 years old, and I was coming from Siberia. I was 8 years old on that train. It take 1 week to come from Siberia. After war, we was coming home. And it was just beautiful connection with everything. And thank you for, yesterday was amazing. I showed
Ina, I'm so glad. Ina joined the, we had a women's circle, Challah Bake, with the Challah Whisperer, Rocky Pinson last night. And if anybody missed it but would want to watch it, I have the recording, so you could just let me know and I'll be happy to share it with you. It was really fabulous. So, Ina is showing us her challah she made.
Wow.
Oh my God, they're beautiful.
Yeah, they're beautiful. I perfected the challah. It's your recipe.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
That is amazing.
Wow.
Thank you for sharing, Ina. You know, anybody who's a Holocaust survivor is holy. They can do nothing wrong and they go straight to heaven.
Yes. Holy people. Thank you, Ina,
So
for
we're honored, Ina,
sharing that. That is
to
so
have you.
special. Thank you with your grandfather. Oh my goodness. That
I
is very
saw
special.
in Ellie.
We'll have to tell Ellie.
Probably my grandfather was singing like Ellie, maybe.
Wow. Label Chaim.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Ina.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Larry, it was so nice to see Karen this morning.
You saw her this morning, didn't you?
Yeah. It was a treat to see her.
If I come in there and poke my head in there, she says, "This is for women only." She throws me out.
Well, if you ever could join Torah and Tea, it's now
Well,
on Zoom.
I still can't believe I do this now. That I miss going to shul so much.
Aw.
It was fun last week that I was there, even outside. It was to see the people and to hear the rabbi. I really enjoyed it.
Aw.
Yes, we were so happy. Happy to see you.
I'm happy to see myself. I think most of your people know how I was almost dead 10 years ago. And I heard Ina, what she said, she saw her grandfather. When I was coming out of that coma, I saw my grandmother also. And she kept telling me, go home, and not yet, go back. I know I used to hear shifters like that and say it's all a bunch of nonsense, but not anymore.
Wow.
Wow.
Powerful stuff.
Label Chaim, Lion of Life.
Unbelievable.
Roberta, so good to see you.
Thank you, Rabbi. Always nice to see you. I was wondering, your brothers have, and you have such beautiful voices. Is that natural, not trained? Is this a gift from God?
Yes, my mother was gifted with 10 children who can sing in perfect key, pitch, or perfect pitch, whatever it's called. That's, I don't know if it's a record or anything like that, but it's pretty rare. But Ellie is the youngest, and I feel like he got most of the talent. So he got the musical talent of the family. He plays musical instruments. He plays the drums. He plays guitar. He plays piano. Obviously, he goes for voice lessons, but he was singing way before he had any lessons, and so it's quite he's quite natural talent, but he's certainly developed it over time.
And the next generation, are we going to see more Marcus generation singing like this?
I don't know.
We hope so.
We hope so. It passes through the mother, so.
Oh well.
It passes through the mother, apparently. So.
Maybe there's.
And we were a bunch of boys, so.
It was 4 girls. So.
4 girls, yes. One's not married, and one. Yeah. So there's a chance. Some of them actually. We have my brother Shmuley has a couple of boys who are very musically talented, and my sister has a son who's musically talented. So it's in there.
Yeah.
It's in there. And we've got the Gerbers on. So good to see you.
Hi Zane.
Zalig, Halevi.
Great to see Pearl last night and today.
But I'm not going on camera.
No problem.
Well, we hear your voice. That's good.
Yeah, very enjoyable this evening. And by the way, anyone who does want the tape from last night, Basi was kind enough to send it to me because I wanted some details on it. So thank you. I appreciate
it. Anybody needs it, we can send it to you. Where is she? Oh, Ronald. My Hasidic Catholic.
Oh, Rabbi, it's an honor to see you. I can't believe I was present here. It's such a beautiful thing, and I miss you, Rabbi, and love you.
Oh, thank you. Same here. We miss you too. And who else? If you put your camera on, we'd love to bring you on and share your thoughts here. We got Jana. Hello, Jana.
Hello, that was so beautiful. Wow. I was just like, oh, I need a lot of Kleenex. Really.
Well, we're so glad. You know, when we started Chabad here in Mission Viejo, our first program was in your house. And,
that's right.
And you got Rosalind on there.
I know. Hi, Rosalind. Hi, Rosalind and Greg. So nice to see you.
Yeah. So it's really
beautiful.
Yes. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. If you'd like to share anything, I'm going to let you unmute yourself. So you can unmute yourself if you want to
just
sound off before we...
It's Evan. I just please thank your brother. I was deeply moved and wish I could thank him myself. So please thank him for me.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't come on.
He was gonna
he was
come on.
earlier, and then he went off, and we told him to come back on. But you know, it is 11:30 in New York. He may have fallen asleep. I doubt it, but maybe.
Bossy, I would appreciate
I
a copy of that.
Couldn't hear you, Selma.
I would appreciate a copy of the tape. I didn't know about yesterday's meeting.
Sure, we'll send it to you.
Well, can you send me a text or a reminder and I'll forward it to you?
Be happy to. And thank you
Okay.
again. It's a wonderful, unbelievable evening.
Oh, thank you. So glad you were able to join, being the youngest, of course.
Rabbi,
Yes, Alita.
I just figured out how to turn my camera on.
Yay!
A little late. That was so beautiful. Is that video available? Can we purchase it or get it in
I
some
can
way?
give you a copy. I'll give you a copy of tonight's program. I can just give that to you.
Oh, I'd love that. That was absolutely wonderful. So please thank Ellie and your uncle. It was just beautiful. Oh.
We will do that.
Yes.
Rabbi?
Yes.
Yeah, I just would like to thank you and Bossy for having a tremendously positive attitude and bringing the community together. Because, you know, it's very easy to fall into woe is us. And you always, both of you, always look at the positive side of things and promote that. And I think it's terrific. So thank you very much.
Oh,
I'll ditto that.
Oh, thank you, Hillary.
so sweet.
Paula, I see that you unmuted yourself.
Paula, it's
Yes.
so good to see you here.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was really a beautiful event, and it makes me feel so close to everybody in the community, and I miss everyone, and thank you so much. I'm in the middle of moving, so the house is a disaster, so I'm hidden.
good
One
luck with
second.
that.
Did you say you're in the middle of moving?
We're in the middle of moving, yeah,
Oh my gosh, where are you going?
to Orange.
Oh my goodness.
Not too
I
far.
checked it. Chabad of Chapman College has the closest Chabad I looked.
Oh yeah, they're
Nice,
so
yeah,
sweet,
very
the
sweet
Gararis.
celebrity,
Yeah.
We'll hook you up with them. They're super
Okay.
sweet.
Yeah, thank you for tonight. It was beautiful.
You're so welcome. How's Rachel doing?
She's fine, thank you.
Can you give her a hug from me?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for joining us.
I'm sorry I
And you know,
missed that.
Paula, it doesn't matter if you move to Orange or Seattle or Israel or
This will always be your home.
Thank you.
yours.
And I
Mission Viejo Chabad is always yours.
thank you. I forgot about last night also. I would like a copy of that tape.
Oh yes, send me a text and I'll send it to you. You
Okay,
signed up
thank
for that. Yes.
No, I didn't. I forgot. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Shana Tova.
You too. You too.
Hey, everyone, good night. Gmar Chatima Tova, and thank you so much. It was so great seeing everyone.
You're so welcome. It was great to see you too.
Thank you.
Shana Tova, and keep safe, everybody.
Shana Tova, lady.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
Like,
Shana Tova.
Tov, everybody.
Gimar Chatima Tova to everybody.
Gemar Chatima Tova, yes.
Amen.
Thank you very much for everything. It was a wonderful evening.
Beautiful.
Oh, you're very welcome. It's so good to see you.
Well, especially Bassy we had in the morning, which was so lucky.
Aw. Today's been a great day.
Right, so if you came to the
Big,
tournament,
big-
you just... What was that?
We just said it was a big, big, wonderful day. Bassy in the morning, you know, and then.
Exactly.
Yeah, and those who were at the challah bake last night, the tournament this morning, and now with us, we basically spent the whole day together.
Yep.
24 hours, yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, very good, everybody. Have a good night. And early good Shabbos. And an early easy fast.
Yes.
And we'll see you again very soon.
Start eating and drinking now.
Yes, hydrate. It's going to be hot.
Yep. Exactly. Okay, Laila Tov.
Laila Tov, everybody.